think that he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me?
That's my opinion! Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you?
That I don't think that he's good.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sandra P's Gen Extra. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. As happy as a Monday can be. I'm glad to see you in the chat already. I saw my moderators in here. Mama Bees, thank you so much for joining. Cece, I appreciate you. American Born is here to discuss our show. Good morning, Sandra P's Gen Extra. Everyone is saying good morning. Grand Rising is what Mama B says. Grand Rising. Cece, thank you so much. Good morning, Sandra P's Gen Extra. Mama B's chat. So thank all of you that are able to join me this morning. Toot Toot came in speaking to Cece. Thank all of you for joining me this morning. It is good to see you. Good to see you. This is one of the new shows. Finally, we get a season 1 show. It's not a reboot. We do not know these ladies, but we are enjoying getting to meet them, or at least I am. I find them really funny. I find them really cute, and I find them engaging. They're not at a point where they're acting for the show. So these are my girls so far. I don't have a least favorite. I don't know. I got to see about Rosie. I have to see about Kelsey, but I really, really enjoy Liz. Liz cracks me up. Liz is my girl. And we're seeing a little bit of Delores Cantanilla. I feel like Bravo may have thought, this is a totally new show. We need a known person to usher them in. These ladies are doing fine. I mean, it's nice that they have Delores, but she's not necessary at all. She's giving some cute and funny reactions. We're going to see her in this episode 4. But these ladies are holding it down. They're doing what they need to do. So I will go through. We didn't need Dolores' help. I'm with you on that, American Born. We didn't need Dolores' help. So I'm going to go through first. What I like to do, since these ladies are new to us, I'm going to put back on the where I'm on the side, and then I can say who everybody is. And let me see if I can even see that from here. Okay, seated, that is the young lady, Ashley. Ashley has the husband, Jared. They have 2 little children, and he is spending so much time at his coffee bar, which she said is the number 1 or the number 2. I think Bon Jovi has some type of restaurant that is more well-known, but she's saying it's well-known, but they're not making as much money as they thought they would have. The beautiful lady standing up behind her is Joellen. We saw Joellen and her husband activated last week against Rula and Brian at Liz's Studio 54 party that she threw for her husband, Gary. The third lady here in the kind of gold, she was on Watch What Happens Live last night, everybody. That is Alicia. Alicia she called herself a runaway bride. She's been over there with Billy. Billy has a pizza man. Billy is the pizza man. He has a very lucrative pizza shop that has passed down in his family. So he's legacy to Rhode Island as well. Of course, we know that's the smallest state. Most of them know each other. The funny thing is the newest one, the first lady I introduced, Ashley, she has only been there like 10 years or so. So she still feels like she's getting to know everybody. 10 years is a long time to be somewhere. But Rhode Island, they've all been there so long. The one standing up and in the middle, that is the beautiful Rosie. Rosie is a newlywed to Rich. She is, they've been married a year. She doesn't want children. We're going to see that in the episode more of this. This is Rula, y'all. Rula is beautiful. Rula is the second wife to Brian. Now, Rula has a husband in her past that she says, we don't want to talk about that. It's disrespectful for me to talk about it. So that is Rula. Rula was the source of a lot of rumors. Y'all, on Watch What Happens Live last night, Alicia was bringing up the Spanish teacher rumor. She said, I don't really talk about it, but I know that it's 90% true. Y'all, Andy was cackling. 90% true, Alicia? So I know Rula had a fit when she saw that. Seated is my girl, Liz. This is Liz right here, y'all. Liz is a trip. People think she looks like Delores Cantanilla, but when they show old pictures of Liz, she doesn't look that much like Delores Cantanilla. She is half Italian, half, I want to say Syrian, because she says she has it in common with Rula. And then the last lady standing, y'all, I was doing fine until her. Is that Rose? No, I already named Rosie. You'll come to me. You will come to me. We didn't need Dolores, but bye. American Born, who's this last lady with this intense wave in her hair? Who didn't I name? Let's see. Let me go through and see who I didn't name. I'm going to read off all their names, and then hopefully that'll help me. Let me look in the chat first and see if anybody knows who that lady is. Because I named everybody except for the one, but we're getting to know them. Okay, Joe Ellen. Thank you, Joe Ellen. Joe Ellen, I have to see how I feel about Joe Ellen. I appreciate that. Welcome in, dear Yvette. Welcome in, Ophelia Burkhalter. It is good to see you in a live for the Real Housewives of Rhode Island. We have made it to episode 4. Thank you, dear Yvette. Thank you so much. Dunkin' Donuts was king when I was there. Yeah, I love Dunkin' Donuts. I actually love Dunkin' Donuts more. I moved south a couple of decades ago. I came here for college, found my first job, and stayed. And a lot of my family started to drift down. But I find that Southerners love themselves some Krispy Kreme. They go crazy for Krispy Kreme. And I like Krispy Kreme. To me, it's too sweet. But Dunkin' Donuts used to be fresh. I got to make the donuts. They're not fresh now. I think they bake them once in the morning and that's it. But they used to be made all day, which Krispy Kreme still makes them all day. Her and Angela were really good together last night. Yes, American Born too. I stayed up to watch What Happens Live, because I love Angela, and Alicia makes me laugh. She need to stop talking about that lady she ran over in her car, though, because that lady might feel like, okay, everything's not okay. Because Alicia's saying she was fine. I had to chase her down. She said, that was a tough time for me. Andy said, for you? She said, yeah. I'll read a few comments and then we'll get into the review. Cece says, I was cackling. Oh, girl says she liked her Spanish teacher. She sure did. I like my Spanish teacher. Brian was married to the Spanish teacher. And evidently, Rula, allegedly, everything that I say it's my own opinion. It's alleged. If I share anything, it's covered by the Copyright Act of 1976, Section 107. So this is all entertainment. It's for fun. And the chat expresses their own views as well. But Alicia said on Watch What Happens Live, it wasn't live, it was pre-recorded, but this lady said, it's a rumor, but it's 90% true. So we need to hear from Mrs. Spanish teacher. Brian has a lot of stuff going on outside the show. He's suing the mistress. He's a trip. Everybody's saying good morning to everyone. And if I miss anyone, I will come back. Not me. I don't like Krispy Kreme. They're too sweet. American Born, aren't they sweet? It's like a sugar rush. And they're so soft, they don't really stick with you. You could eat a half a dozen before you even realize it. They're very dangerous. But in workplaces in North Carolina, they love Krispy Kreme. No, not Dunkin' Donuts. Krispy Kreme, hot now only. Cece has seen that sign and made a swerve, pulled an Alicia to get into there. Now, if you have coffee or something with it that's not as sweet, yeah, I feel like American Born. I do. 10 people are in here. Thank you so much. I hope the likes match. I would appreciate that. But as we go along, I'll stop and read comments. I'll answer questions if there are any. And you may have to fill me in on some stuff, because I was actually very bold and I scheduled Real Housewives of Atlanta after this, 11:40, so I could have 2 separate lives. But this one usually doesn't take much more than an hour. So thank you, everybody, for being here during the live, and I'll get started with the review. Okay, so we have Dolores. Again, we know she's not needed, but I'm happy to see Dolores. I like Dolores. Delores and Liz are rehashing the Studio 54 party for Gary. And they're just talking about Rula, too. That Rula, they don't understand why she's such a boss at work, but she's the way she is with Brian. So Liz is saying they don't get it, but they do like Rula. The end of the night was a problem, that's Liz. I had too much to drink. I drank too much. I shouldn't have really done all that with Kelsey. And Dolores is trying to, give her friend an out. Well, premenopause, perimenopause. And she said, yeah, that could have been it. You had a menopause moment. I don't know. But we see the scene again, and y'all, Liz was going off. And I forgot to mention, Liz had a little sign on the door. So Liz might be familiar with Real Housewives and what they did to Nene. Liz had a sign on her bedroom door that said, do not enter. It was a lion, and the lion was wearing a wig, y'all. Liz is a trip. That's my girl. So Liz tried to tell the people, don't come in here. And that's why we just had audio. Kelsey, being a friend, ran in. So that was funny. We saw the scene again. She cusses Kelsey out. F you, F this, F that. She tells Delores, all I wanted to do was walk by the water, me and Dino and Gary. Walk by the water. They were supposed to go down by the seawall. And Delores says, well, what did she say? What triggered you? She was saying something about ongoing. Now, we know more was going on with Dino. We mentioned it in the chat. American Born, let us know. You sent me some information, too, that is for an extra. But I covered one of the things where Dino, his name is ringing bells with the state troopers out in Rhode Island. Something about have a Coke and a smile, box trucks. You take that where you will, okay? So there is some distancing that needs to go on between Liz and Jerry and Dino, but she just heard something about ongoing and thought it was about the ongoing affair, which she intensely denies again. We get another confessional with her in that flowered dress with the big sleeves, and she's looking out the window talking about it again. Liz, I don't know. I don't think Liz is a good liar. She's like, I don't know why people keep saying that. There's not really he's my best friend. He's the little bro. And Jerry was the one saying, take care of me when he's gone 3 weeks a month. And okay, Liz, we'll believe you, Liz. So she's telling us again about Dino and Kelsey and their hookup. She says with them, it was a romantic relationship. It wasn't that with us. So again, I don't know. I think Liz should stop bringing that up. Let me get to where I can see the comments again, because this is a popular topic. Dino and Kelsey and Liz. I won't call it a triangle because I like Liz. So I won't call that a triangle. Let me see how I get the comments back up here. When I can see them again, y'all, I'll read them. I'm sorry. Okay, so Liz has got this little headband on, y'all, like Steven Tyler from Aerosmith. She's a trip. Delores is drinking a smoothie. Liz gives her a fruit bowl, and they're still chit-chatting a little bit. Liz is in a tank top, of course, got her little guns out. So she said, I feel like Kelsey owes me an apology. Y'all, after this conversation, how did Liz come to that conclusion that Kelsey owes her an apology? But we'll see what happens. We get another beach day with the other ladies. This kind of like, I like the fact that there's different age groups, because Liz is clearly Gen X, as is Delores. And then the younger ladies, we have Rosie, Ashley, Kelsey. Alicia is probably 40s. I think Alicia is maybe a millennial, an older millennial. So I think this is really cute. They're meeting for a beach day. And Ashley is saying, they all look like Malibu Barbies, and I'm out here looking like a mom that tried hard today. I think Ashley is beautiful. I don't like the fact that she's a little insecure around these ladies, because I don't see anybody doing that thing where they're the HBIC like they do on other franchises. I think if you had maybe a face of Rhode Island right now, I would say Liz. But I think it's only because her name rings bells in Rhode Island. She's the one that's a friend to Delores, who has the Jersey franchise under her belt. And then, of course, her business, that the weed business or cannabis business that she and Jerry have. She's very well known in the area, but she's not like, I'm the HBIC. They're the ones that are doing that to her. So I like the fact that the group, again, is mixed. Y'all, I'm going to keep trying this, clicking you here. I'm going to try to find what I did with the comments when I put the screen. Okay, there we are, everybody. There we are. Sharon Godbelt, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us during the live. It is good to see you in the chat. Let's see. Not me. I don't like Krispy Kreme. Okay, we did. We're talking about Krispy Kreme donuts, y'all, as versus Dunkin'. Dunkin' is a Northeast thing, but they're all over the country now, probably worldwide, and they have great coffee. I love Dunkin' Donuts. Cece said no. She likes the hot now sign. And they do, honestly, Krispy Kreme does have that over them that you have a chance to get them hot. Dear Yvette says, Delores brings nothing to New Jersey. Why would Andy think she would in Rhode Island? Dear Yvette, we're trying to figure that out. She's not really needed. It's true. 5 likes and 9 in the chat. Okay. And that chat number alternates as people are in the bushes, different things. Thank you so much. Sandra P's Gen Extra. Please like and subscribe to ensure at Sandra P's Gen Extra. Moves up in the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much, CC. Yes, especially reviewing a new show. I find that I've gotten a few newer subscribers, and I appreciate that. American Board, they cost more than a car payment. She's laughing. Okay, we have lots of old mom and pop donut shops in my area, and they are so yummy. Yeah, Dairy Vet, you're more likely to get a fresh donut from a local mom and pop than you are Dunkin'. Krispy Kreme, at least in Charlotte, since they're from Winston-Salem, I believe. They are local to North Carolina. They do still do the hot now sign, but not all day. Liz, after Queen said Gary might like the boys, I'm believing something did happen with Dino. Jerry might like the boys. I didn't watch Queen. I didn't watch that review. I never heard anything about Jerry, but 3 weeks aboard a fishing boat, I don't know. Dino's a good-looking man. He used to be an actor and also a boxer. And then we know he has that baby with, in common, the fiance of Aaron Hernandez. So that's a trip. Yeah, I love mom and pop businesses. I try to support mom and pop businesses as well. Yes, I do. So she's saying that this was Ashley. She's saying that she looks like a mom that tried too hard. Yeah, she was saying the fishing 3 weeks, it does make you suspicious. Yeah. Somebody would have to enjoy the company of men more than mine. If you're out there 3 weeks out of the month, that is a lot. That's a lot. But again, I don't see that in Jerry. I don't know. We'd have to hear rumors or something. So I feel like Liz should stop bringing this Dino thing up in her little headband like Steven Tyler. So we're back at the beach. This is a beautiful beach, y'all. They all say this is their favorite beach. They love a beach day. Alicia has brought a picnic basket. They all have their chairs, bags, picnic basket, something called pizza chips. It's just a pizza with the dough and the sauce. And I'm with Ashley. I'm like, where is the cheese? Don't give it to me without the cheese. She says it's lighter than regular pizza and people bring it to the beach. Now she set this box down directly on the sand and started serving people with her hand. So Alicia, come on now. Where's the paper plates and the napkins? But they're going to have a great beach day. And now Liz is not there. So it looks like they didn't invite Liz so that they get a chance to talk about her. We know that is a housewives trick that they all have. And we find out they're going to be going to this adventure that is kind of like an excursion, but they live in Rhode Island. They'll be riding along a train track and pedaling with these Fred Flintstone looking things. I don't know if I'd want to do that. Cece said that pizza cracker looked dry, like you need a drink with that. And cheese. Thank you, Cece. It defeats the purpose of being called a pizza. I don't understand it. But that's what Alicia brought. So they say, let's talk. Can we talk about the party? And the others wanted clarification as to what went on with Kelsey and Liz at the end of the night. And they want to know, why is Rula mad at Joellen? And then I forgot who was talking, but she was saying, well, Rula feels like Joellen stuck her nose into the marriage. And then Ashley was saying, but she was only repeating what everyone else has been talking about. Alicia says, Brian doesn't look like he cheats. That's when she brings up the Spanish teacher. She said, he used to be married to my Spanish teacher, and I really like my Spanish teacher. She's in a confessional. I'm not saying that they cheated, but that is the rumor that Ruellen was the one on the side when he was married to my Spanish teacher. So I thought that was really funny that she kept bringing up her Spanish teacher. Alicia's in her 40s. On Watch What Happens Live last night, she actually had the nerve to ask, Andy asked her, he said, well, what about this rumor? She said it was 90% true that she liked the Spanish teacher. And then she mentioned that Brian, I forgot what she said about Brian. I started telling the story and forgot midway. But here she said, he doesn't look like a cheater. Yeah, I don't know. What does a cheater look like? These little quiet ones are just as bad as the sexy ones. You got a big, fine husband. Usually the women will be going after him and he'll be trying to stay on the straight and narrow. And the little funny looking ones, or as his own wife Rula put it, he's not tall, dark, or handsome. He just has maybe half of one. He's not tall, he's not dark, but he's handsome to me. So Rula be saying little slick stuff. Good morning, Kiwan JTV. This is one of my fellow content creators. She's saying good morning, Grand Rising. Hello, and speaking to everybody. Hey, Miss Sandra in chat. Hey, Kiwan J. I hope you are having a great Monday morning. If everybody's not over at Kiwan JTV already, I hope they go over there. Scripted as well as reality TV is fun over there. So we have Alicia, the rest of the ladies. They're asking Kelsey, what happened? Kelsey's saying, she said, I was just talking to her about Dino and distancing herself. And then I mentioned something about ongoing, and she jumped up and broke out and ran upstairs. And that's kind of half the story, Kelsey. Kelsey is a trip. Kelsey is one I'm watching, and Rosie is another one I'm watching. The way they tell stories. A lie is not just telling something different than how it happened. You can also lie by omission. So I feel like production cut some stuff out, and Liz was provoked a lot more than Kelsey is admitting to. Cece says, I think she was saying he's not handsome. So who cheat with them? Yeah, I don't know why they think, well, let me get me a little medium ugly man and he'll be faithful. Them are the worst ones. Them are the worst ones. So yeah, I think that is what she's saying, Cece. Ophelia Burkhalter is speaking to Kiwan JTV. So they are getting more information about what happened. Liz wanting to walk down to the water with Dino and Jerry, and then booking it upstairs to her bedroom. Kelsey says, I followed her, and I was just talking about an ongoing rumor that was circulating, and that's what set Liz off. So Rosie says she just thought that maybe she should distance herself from him because people are talking about her and these Dino rumors, and that Dino should also distance himself from Jerry as well. So y'all, I feel like there's some underlying stuff. Maybe they know about accusations against Dino that they're not really bringing up. And then we're going to find out from Kelsey later. We already found out last episode they had a little something, and Kelsey is traumatized by that. So Dino probably wasn't. It was good. I heard this episode was good. Kiwan J says it was. Dino probably wasn't that nice to Kelsey, and maybe not that nice to certain people. Now, the fact that Liz is married to his best friend, he's not going to dog Liz out, even if they have illicit something on the side. Liz is going to get out of that better than Kelsey did. So we're going to find out more about that later. And then Kelsey's saying, you don't want to be the type of person that harasses people. We hang out with happy-go-lucky people. Y'all, Kelsey's just saying a lot of stuff. So they ask her to repeat herself. Ashley is saying she just has this cute kind of, she has a cute Jersey accent. They ask her to repeat herself. Then they talk about Hurricane Liz. She's not here for the BS. I don't get scared of her. No, she said, I get scared of her and I don't get scared of anybody. That is what Alicia was saying. Now, she wasn't saying anything bad about Liz. She was just saying that Liz can be kind of intimidating. Ashley feels that way because she's new to Rhode Island, even though she's been there a decade. She's married a man that's from there. But they're kind of talking about Liz because Liz is not there. Liz is the one in the group that everybody kind of looks up to. But keep in mind, because one of them's going to run tell that and kind of make it look like Ashley is speaking badly about Liz. And I don't think that she was. So Rosie is saying, oh, Rosie is the one that brought the bone back to Liz. So I feel like they should have known better than to, they didn't say anything negative, but just be careful of how you speak about people when they're not there, because certain personality types love to run tell that, and they don't put everything in context. I had that experience not recently, maybe a few months ago. And I didn't even defend myself. I just let it go. Like, okay, whatever. So Rosie's cute. She's a little bit funny, but I'm watching Rosie, also Kelsey. I think these two can be kind of snakish. I hope I'm not seeing what I think I see, but we'll see. So then we see Joellen has her sister in the house. Y'all remember Joellen's husband, Jerry, started out dating the sister in high school, and somehow he ended up with Joellen, who was a freshman at the time. The sister is there, y'all, taking care of the kids, taking care of the husband, washing clothes, helping cook. So Jerry's holding a little baby. They're joking. In a way, it was kind of strange. She was like, oh, I found your underwear. She's folding his underwear right in front of him. That's the sister, Jen. He said, oh, how did they smell? She said, they tasted great. The two of them start laughing. Y'all, this is too much. So Joellen says, I don't know. Sometimes I don't really appreciate the jokes that the two of them do with each other, but I don't think it's inappropriate. I don't think anything really happened between them. Maybe once in high school, he might have felt her boobs or something. Girl, I don't know. I wouldn't want my husband joking with a family member like that. I don't actually have any sisters that would joke like that. My brother-in-laws, they were much older. My two sisters are boomers. They're in their 60s. I'm 55. So the men they married were older. I was like the little sis as well as my younger sister. I could never joke like this. I didn't understand it. I thought that's crazy. Cece says, my grandmother always told me, not to let women live or take up space in your home, including family. Cece, I was looking at Joellen, wondering why she's allowing this. And she has kind of an inkling that maybe it's not right and she shouldn't be allowing it, but that's her sister and she doesn't want to be suspicious of her sister. I met the lady for 2 minutes and I didn't like the conversation. And Jerry was a trip. He got on a FaceTime call with his wife, Joellen, and said, yeah, she's in here. She's done the laundry better than you. She's cooked more than you have in 3 weeks. He was talking crazy. So then Joellen gets a confessional and says, Jen wants a Gary. No, Jen might want your Gary because she had him first. That's what this lady said. Jen wants a Gary. She's 45 years old with no children. She said that she's probably going to use his sperm if she doesn't get anybody. How's she going to get his sperm? How do you think she's going to get it? I don't think they're going down to the sperm center or wherever Phaedra told Kenya to go. I don't know. Y'all, they might end up sister wives for real. What you going to do if your sister got pregnant with your husband's baby and they already got little kids? They're going to have sister, brother, cousins like the Jacksons. Y'all know that the Jacksons have brother cousins. Randy had 2 children with a woman he never married. And then Jermaine scooped up the same woman and had 2 kids with her. Crazy. So, and American Born is agreeing with Cece. I'm agreeing with Cece and her grandmother. I think that's crazy. But they're all making like this is okay. So she says when she grew up, her and her sister were not close. So there was a bit of an age difference, but close enough to be rivals. So you have a freshman and a senior. They were not close. The sister would lock her out of the house, all kind of stuff. They became close again in 2010 when they lost their father. So Andy Cohen, I don't know how he cast. I know Delores said, you should look at this group of women because they have a lot of stuff going on. Y'all, this was a trip. And we know how Bravo likes to do these familial relationships. Joellen, you better be careful. And Jen, I'm watching you too, girl. I don't love this. I don't love it at all. Joellen knows that her husband has been with her sister probably. It's weird. If I was Rula, I would have told her to worry about their Utah lifestyle. Thank you, dear Yvette. Now we'll see. Rula has a bit of an edge to her, but she's so buttoned down and all this. I don't know if she'll go there. Now, Rula can be a little bit slick. Remember, she shut Liz up. She told Liz, when she produce a child, and it hit Liz where she lived. Liz was in a confessional crying about that. And I knew what Rula meant, and I thought it was really nasty. But Rula, if you back her into a corner, she come out swinging. So we'll see. We might hear something about sister wives yet. Because, Joella, you cry about these people calling your job. You got all kind of stuff going on in your home. And the way Gary checked Brian, he was like, no, you don't call the job, call me. He's like scared to lose that income. So, Gary, what's really going on over there? This is crazy. So then the ladies, we find out they have a long drive. They're going to pack a lunch. Oh, no, this is related to the aunts, y'all. They're not on the excursion yet. The long drive, I was kind of joking with myself. You know, the one where the aunts said they had to pack a lunch. They had a flask. Here come the aunts again, y'all. There's like 6 of them. And the mother. This is Alicia's family. So they come in. They always come in like Alicia has no food in her house. I don't think Alicia cooks. I think she alluded to that. Rula's nasty. I don't care for her. American Born. I didn't really care for Rula either. But seeing how she's treated by Bryant, she allows it. And then watching that bad advice she was getting from some of the older ladies in her community. I have a little bit of compassion for her, but yeah, Rula's a trip. We'll see what she's going to do. She said a few slick stuff this episode too. So all the aunties are coming in. They start putting stuff in her refrigerator immediately, putting other stuff away, putting stuff on trays. They're making a charcuterie board because Alicia is hosting her friends. They're coming over. So they got all this bread, cakes, carbs, y'all. Everything looked good. I'd have loved to have been seated at that table. And she says, there's always so much food. You can tell we're Italian. So she says, we're going to put all this stuff. Then we get a background about the grandfather. He was well known for Superior Bakery all over Long Island. Y'all, that name sounds familiar to me. I have friends from Queen and Long Island, and I swear, Superior Bakery sounds familiar. So she's saying she is still upset that Billy is not giving her money to run the house. Now, we found out on Watch What Happens Live last night. He gives her credit card. She doesn't have to say, Billy, can I have $100? Billy, can I spend X amount? She has free reign to spend, but she says she's old school. She likes to keep cash in the house. So, Alicia, maybe don't get on TV with that because you know how reality TV stars be getting robbed. That's how my house was growing up. Food everywhere, American born. I know, I love it. Cece says, I'm kind of like Ruler with the slickness if backed in a corner, but I would never attack a woman's fertility or anyone's condition. Cece, that's me as well. I'm more of an introvert. I'm listening. I actually listen twice as much as I talk. You won't believe it because I have a YouTube channel, but I listen. I remember a lot of stuff, and I'll give it back to you. It may take you a minute to catch it, but when you get it, I promise you'll be mad. I had somebody call me months later. I hung that phone up. What you doing on my phone now? I don't want to hear it. So she is saying that Billy needs to start giving her money to pay the bills. He's not going to give you cash money. You're going to have to work something out. Maybe take advances or something. Let him pay that credit card and then you squirrel that away. But they're going to have a conversation. So Liz comes in. Everybody's screaming, Liz. Y'all, they love Liz in Rhode Island. And they are fun to be around. Liz is saying she loves all the aunts. They are a riot. And when the aunts come in, they know the cameras are there. They are dressed. Somebody has a floor long tankini dress on. The mother is in white and it's like a little mini. All of them are fully made up. They got their jewelry on, earrings, bracelets up each arm. Y'all, they are so cute. I love this. So they all are, they're having a party and they're going to sit around. They invite Ruler. Ruler comes in. They all waving at Ruler, kind of hugging her, embracing her. They're treating Ruler like, oh, Ruler. So, yeah, I think they all know about Brian because this conversation is actually going to come up about what's going on with Ruler. So Alicia's Aunt Sharon is saying, Ruler, I heard about you. What's going on in your family? Ruler is looking embarrassed like, oh, my God. Does she know we're filming? Yeah, she knows they're filming, Ruler. That's why they're bringing this up. So I thought that was really funny. Ruler's telling us that she has known Billy and his family for 30 years. She's patronized their restaurants. They've patronized her family's business. Her family had a jewelry store. So she said they're known to each other. So they're offering Ruler drinks. Ashley shows up without Rosie. Everybody said this is good because Rosie is kind of a security blanket for Ashley. And I do want Ashley to be able to show up on her own, stand up on her own too. And Rosie's kind of messy. I wouldn't align myself with somebody like her. DG, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining the chat. Speaking to myself and to others in the chat. Thank you so much. Good to see you, DG. This is Rhode Island Season 1, Episode 4. So we are talking about the Rhode Island ladies. And we're all in agreement. They're giving a good show so far. So Ashley comes in without Rosie. One of the aunts has mentioned something about Alicia driving. Because remember, Alicia ran over a lady. And y'all, Alicia's still talking about it on Watch What Happens Live. To be fair, Andy brought it up. But, you know, when you get on reality TV, sometimes people will come out the woodworks. So if I was Alicia, I wouldn't still keep playing it for jokes. Who's getting your cloak, Sandra? Well, American Born, I actually have it over the whole series. But I do know that this franchise is coming back. I think Andy likes it. Let me see who I really need to put it over to protect. I would say probably Alicia. Let me put myself where Alicia was there. Alicia, because Alicia's the youngest. And no, not Alicia, Ashley. You know what? I'll cover Alicia and Ashley, those two. Because Alicia, with that 10 years with Billy, I don't know what's going to happen with her. But she says, I'm not going anywhere, this, that, and the other. I don't know. I kind of worry for her a little bit and her little 9-year-old daughter. And then Ashley, because her and Jared and those little kids, I just feel like she's a little insecure. So Ashley has a place in my heart. Yes, we need to protect them both. Yes. Ruler's a tough customer. She's gonna go through some things, but a lot of it is of her own making, especially if she was cheating with the Spanish teacher's husband. So Ruler, sometimes you put your own karma out there. We don't know if that's true or not. So she says Bill is still in control of all the finances right now. We talked about that, how she doesn't like asking him for money. Ruler, remember, is in the finance business. I think she's a certified financial planner, and she either has an agency or works with one. But she gave some good advice. She said, sit him down and tell him to kind of count the cost of what it would take to have full-time housekeeper, full-time house manager, full-time, like, freaking sheets. And then he would begin to appreciate you. So the aunts are like, yeah, that's true. The aunts start talking about Billy. One of them's kind of lobbying for Billy. Why would he put your name on the house and he's not even married to you? So they're still trying to kind of force Alicia to rush into this marriage. Remember, they got engaged 10 years ago. They have a 9-year-old daughter. Alicia's saying that most of them are divorced. She doesn't want to take their advice, and she actually doesn't want to end up in that situation. So I understand it, but I just wish the financial situation would be hashed out. So one of them, I think it was either Rosie or Alicia, is saying, well, pretend I'm Billy, and then you kind of say what you would say. So they're going to do a role play, which I loved it. I thought this was great. The people on Twitter want the aunts to get a spin-off. They are so funny. They're like an Italian OLG. And Old Lady Gang, honestly, that show had legs, American Born. I couldn't understand why they didn't bring back Candy in the game, because I think there's still one OLG that is actively running. And some of the people I really like. Brian was one of the characters I liked. I forgot the lady they used to call Godzilla or Drusilla or something like that. Shonkwilla, something. But I could see them doing that because they got a lot going on and they love being on TV. So Alicia is saying, well, okay, I'll role play. Rosie wasn't there, so it was Alicia. She said, you role play with me. And so Alicia stands up and she's role playing, I think, with Ashley. So she is saying, what are you going to say to him? And then she's saying, well, Brian. Okay, let me see. I got lost. I'm sorry. She's telling Brian, why wouldn't you want to take care of me? Why wouldn't you want to take care of your daughter? She's saying, I have been in your life for over a decade. I'm not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. Why wouldn't you want to put this in a prenup? Why would a prenup ice me out and not even have my name on the house? And then she starts to get a little bit emotional, everybody. So that was kind of touching. Yeah, OLG was good to me. Chandrika, thank you. Supposed to be on Love and Marriage Huntsville, allegedly. Yes, I heard something about that. So she must have left Atlanta, Kiwanje. I stopped watching Love and Marriage Huntsville probably a couple of years ago. When did Melody leave? I think this is their first season, Melody last season. But yeah, Chandrika, they couldn't play with Chandrika. Chandrika was a trip. America Born's looking. Yeah. She covers that show. If you don't watch and you just listen to reviews, she covers Love and Marriage Huntsville. And then they have a new Love and Marriage in another city with Stormy. So Alicia starts to get kind of choked up while she's talking about this. And I feel like she's ready to have this conversation with Billy. And I love the fact that her friends, her aunts, her mom was there, and except for one aunt, they were kind of encouraging her and letting her know, you need to really sit down, bring this to Billy's attention. And I feel like Billy's ready for the conversation. He just feels like I already proposed to her. Whenever she starts planning, that's when we'll get married. Billy seems like that type. Most men are not going to drag you down the aisle. I think the woman kind of has to put a bee in his bonnet. I cackle when one of the aunts said a word that was misunderstood. Oh, good. That's in my notes. The first time I was in Maine, I asked an older man for directions. I didn't understand not near a word. And Cece's cracking up. Thank you for bringing that up, Cece. I appreciate that because my notes got scrambled and I kind of forgot. Okay, so let me see where that was. Oh, they start talking to Rula again because Rula was giving some really good advice on Billy. Alicia's in a confessional saying with what Rula's going through, she could apply some of that to herself. I think Rula's finances are probably fine. It's just since she's on her second marriage and Brian's on his second marriage, she maybe doesn't want to hear the I told you so's. She does have young children, so she doesn't want to go there with that. And now, again, they start telling Rula, of course, Brian cheating is out there across Rhode Island, Providence, and Cranston, and everywhere else. And she's just saying, well, sometimes you have to just buckle down and forgive. And one of the aunts is saying, I had a husband that wanted. And they say, he wanted? What did he want? No, he wants it. Wanted what? He wants it. Wanted what? It was like, who's on first? And somebody said, he wandered. And she said, yeah, he wanted. And Alicia said, wanted? Wandered. He wandered. So he strayed outside the marriage. Alicia is cracking up laughing. So it's like, yeah, the older aunts, they are very, very northeast, Rhode Island, New Jersey. certain areas of New York, you can hear it really, really strong. So that was really funny. He warned it. He wanted what? He warned it. So they're kind of giving really good advice to Alicia. I hope Alicia takes it. I hope she has a conversation with Billy, because the role play, I think it really went well. That he wants it. He warned it. Wanted what? So they said, we're not here to judge. We've all been through that. And Alicia gets kind of choked up. And then they're telling Ruler, it's hard. Once he warned this, it's hard because you don't believe a word he says. Like, were you coming home for dinner? Oh, no, you're late at the office. You know he's not at the office. Ruler's looking extremely uncomfortable, but I don't think the aunts are being messy or anything like that. It's all women. They're having a woman conversation. And honestly, these elders are giving Ruler better advice than the elders in her own community did. I still remember that one old lady talking about, yeah, show up at that party and let him know you got no problems. You and Brian are fine. Her and Brian are not fine. Her and Brian are terrible. Brian wouldn't even open his mouth and speak honestly to Jerry. And, well, I think he was speaking honestly. Let me take that back. He wouldn't defend their relationship to Jerry because he's still cheating. Joellen told him in his face, you're still cheating. And Ruler said he's not. Brian didn't say a word. He started hemming and hawing. Keywan J says, allegedly, Carlos King on his messy Monday, and Chandrika will be on the show, and Stormy is on Bell Collective Birmingham. Oh, okay, so Carlos is shaking things up. I wonder what's going to happen if Bell Collective Birmingham starts getting better numbers than Love and Marriage Huntsville. Bell Collective is the original Bell Collective. That's in Jackson, Mississippi. They don't really have anyone to me that can carry that show. But we'll see. I don't know. Andy asked Alicia to bring her mom and aunts the next time she comes to Watch What Happens Live. He's already eyeing them. Cece sure did. Alicia said she would. I'd love to see them out there in the audience. Keywan J's laughing at American Born. Look at, yeah, Carlos needs to shake things up. I was so sad for Ruler. Yeah, Keywan J TV, she has kind of like buckled down. Now, one of them said something that stuck with her. American Born says, nobody can understand me when I was in Rhode Island. Oh, that is funny. And you probably could barely understand them. I find that really funny. So the aunt is saying that you're always going to look over your shoulder. If he's late or if he's on a business trip, you're not going to believe him. She says nobody wants to live the rest of their life like that. We get a confessional from Ruler, and she says, I'm listening to these ladies, and they're telling me everything that they've gone through. And she said, the one thing that stuck with me, do you want to spend the rest of your life like that? Because we know Ruler puts it on the kids, but when you have children, when you actually physically produce children, but should you just be living for your children? And when the children are gone, you sitting there with Brian, he's on his third or fourth mistress, then what do you do? So I'm glad that that's getting in Ruler's head and giving her maybe an exit strategy. And I think this group of friends, I think they are a good group of friends to Ruler. I do think that, because they all speak really highly of her. They do think she's buttoned down. They do think she hides things. But a lot of that is because of the husband. Brian has humiliated her on TV and still doing it. So Ruler saying she needs a fan. It started to get hot because they had her in the hot seat, y'all. Liz is talking about that there's no ongoing anything. Liz, stop this. Every time any type of affair, you could say a D word and Liz will stop. Well, Dino and I, he's a little bro. Liz, American Born told you, you might protest too much because nobody was talking anything about that. I think 3 of them will need an exit strategy by season 2. Yeah, Keywan JTV, American Born was saying that most, if not all, of the husbands are cheating, allegedly, in my opinion. So this is crazy, y'all. We see Rosie showing up. She's going to have a day with Alicia. Alicia's out in the backyard, I guess her backyard, or maybe somewhere. I'm not sure. They were feeding chickens. Little Dawson, he was braiding a pony's hair. Y'all, it was really cute. Liz did something with Dino. Yeah, every time his name comes up, she goes crazy. Welcome in, Miss Jackson. It's good to see you. Happy Monday all. Excuse me. Thank you for joining us during this live for the 4th episode of Real Housewives of Rhode Island. We have just left Alicia's house. The ladies are trying to speak life into her and Ruler about Billy not wanting to give her flat out cash for the house and then not having a really good prenup for her so that she can get married, and about Ruler still taking Brian cheating on her. And Liz, of course, has been just twirling around the whole episode and last, talking about nothing's going on with Dino. Nothing's going on with Dino. He's the little bro. He's Jerry's best friend. So we'll see what's going to happen with that. Everyone's saying good morning to Miss Jackson. Thank you so much. I love your channel. I appreciate that. Thank you. So Rosie's saying she loves kids. She loves playing with kids. She loves being around kids, but she also loves to give them back to the parents. I resemble that remark. Me too. So she's asking him, okay, what sound does a chicken make? She's saying quack, quack. And Alicia's dying laughing. She's like, no, that's a duck. Chicken is like buck, buck. And she said, well, I'm sorry. I don't really mess around playing with kids' toys. So the two of them are talking. Y'all, Alicia started trying to convince her. She said, I'm turning into my mother. Don't regret if you don't have children. I don't know. I think Rosie is young, but she's not too young to say whether or not she wants to have children. Of course, I don't think she should wait 10 years, but she's saying she may wait 5 to 10 years. We know her husband, Rich, she's saying he's trying to encourage her to have children now because now they bought a house. Remember, she sold her condo. He sold a condo. They have a family home they bought together. So now she's kind of wondering what she should do about that. Good morning, Miss Jackson, Kiwan J says. So they're sitting down, they're talking. Hayden's sitting on the ground. He's a cute little 1-year-old. I love the name Hayden for a baby. It's an old man name to me because one of my mother's brother name is Hayden. Rest in peace, Uncle Hayden. So I think that's such a cute name for a little baby. So Alicia is saying that Rich gives a daddy-like vibe. And Rosie's claiming, well, we never really talked about it. Girl, stop lying. Last episode, y'all were talking about this. Rosie's kind of a liar, y'all. That's one of the things I'm seeing in her that I don't really like. She will flat out lie, and she will lie by making something seem different or leaving something out. Live omission. We're going to see that later. She needs something, Kiwan JTV. I think Rosie needs a therapist. I have to agree with that, Kiwan J. She's in a lot of trauma from her mother because she seemed kind of resentful, like they were just going to have a traditional wedding, but not church wedding. And the mother kind of forced her will. I'm not coming if you don't do a Catholic wedding. Neither Rich nor Rosie wanted a Catholic wedding, but they ended up having a full Catholic wedding. So the mother's kind of overbearing. We see her in the confessional saying, I can be selfish. I can be this. I can be that. I don't want to mess anybody up. Rosie, I wish more people thought like you. I really do. There's horrific news. I'm just trigger alert. I'll just say Shreveport. And if you know, you know. You don't own children. You don't own children. And you don't get to, I brought you here, I'll take you out. I wish more people thought like Rosie. Like, okay, I'm not my best self. I'm trying to be my best self. I don't want to mess anyone else up. So I really feel for Rosie and what she's saying. And I think Kiwan J is right. She may need a therapist. She's a people pleaser. Yeah, she is. She is a people pleaser, Kiwan J. I see that in her. And Rich, I don't want Rich to pressure her because she said they didn't talk about it, but she did mention, they did say before they got married, she let him know she didn't want children. She wouldn't miss that in her life. Rich said, well, you know, he could be for or against. It doesn't really matter. But I think it really matters in that he does want children. So they're talking about that. Yes, you have some really great insight at Kiwan J. American Born, I agree. Kiwan J TV does. And that is another channel. So go over there if you would like. And she has some really good content as well. That situation was so sad. Oh my God, Kiwan J TV. I couldn't watch any news on that. Terrible. So we get another scene with Liz. Liz is telling us that Jerry jumped up and sold the boat. So I don't know, y'all, what was going on that boat? Jerry done jumped up and sold the boat. But of course, he's got her in there clearing out all this stuff. Y'all, she had closets full of like dressy clothes and all kind of stuff. So she has invited her friend over there to help her clean up. She says, Jerry overnight sold the boat miraculously. And she said it's called the Gypsy. And she said that he's had his fill of sport fishing. Y'all, we don't know what's going on. I've heard that keeping a boat up is like physically and financially intensive. So she said he's got a baby on the way. Y'all, that's the grandbaby. So he intends to really have himself like enamored with that baby. I love that. This is his first grandbaby. We know he has 3 daughters that Liz helped raise. She's been with those little girls since they were like 8 and 9 and 10. So I think that's really sweet. I know what you're talking about. Shreveport. Yeah. Heartbreaking, angry. Yeah. Cece. Yes. So Liz said, what's he going to do? He's acting like he's going to be changing diapers. So I don't know. He might be one of those hands-on grandpas. We'll see. So Liz, did she bring up Dino again? I said, Liz, stop talking about Dino. I don't know if she brought up Dino again or not. So whatever happened with her and Dino, if anything, she and Jerry have clearly worked it out. And I feel like she should stop bringing it up. This is too much. So she's down there kind of clearing out the bedroom. Kelsey comes in. Kelsey says she didn't know if she's going to be walking into Hurricane Liz. She's kind of a little anxious about showing up, but Liz is her friend. There is the age difference, but they are close and they value each other's opinions and company. They love each other. They're upset about this fight that they had. If it was Jerry's sports fishing boat, why was it full of her clothes? Yeah, that was kind of weird. So I did notice that because I said, why didn't he help her clean it out? He might have just had like fishing equipment to clean out. It was like all that other stuff you got in there, you handle it. So yeah, that is right, Cece. I guess they were using it for personal use too. So she's clearing things up. She puts Kelsey right to work. I'm going to clear out down here and you go upstairs. So Kelsey goes upstairs. Then she finally goes upstairs with Kelsey and she says, I'm going to pop a bottle of champagne. Liz pops a bottle. And remember, when we last saw Liz with Delores, she's telling Delores that Kelsey owes her an apology. I don't think so. I think maybe they owe each other one. But I think Liz did go off first and started cussing. Maybe the boat was involved with Dino's mess. American Born, who knows? They're trying to get it out of there. She said he mysteriously sold it overnight. So I don't know. She says, I don't want to walk into the lion's den again. Oh, well, that was actually Kelsey before she came in. But she came in and Liz was being real sweet. You look pretty. So they start helping each other. And she says, I'm going to put the issue out there. She says, I'm not proud of how I reacted. And she said, I feel like people don't want to. I'm sorry, I don't know where I am with this. She says she is not proud of the reaction, but what you said to me triggered me when you started talking about ongoing. So then we hear from Kelsey that I wasn't really trying to trigger you. And I apologize that you were triggered. But she says that people are alluding that there was some type of relationship between her and Dino. Liz is saying, well, your relationship with Dino is not my relationship with Dino, which I guess that's true, y'all. This is crazy. I worked with some men who do competitive fishing. It's a thing. Yeah, I believe that, CC. I guess it's almost just like golf. People talk about golf widows. Some sports, once they start playing, they get really immersed in it. The people of Rhode Island were busy. And American Born says they can win big money, can't they? I have heard that there are prizes. There are cash prizes that they win. Gotcha. There are cash prizes that they win. I've heard that. I don't know a lot about sports fishing, but yeah, I think that's true. So Kelsey and Liz are talking. Liz saying she felt a little bit betrayed that in addition to her saying something about ongoing, she's also was talking about her behind her back. Kelsey apologizes for that. She says, I have had a different experience with Dino. And she said, my instinct was to withdraw myself from him and to put him off, just to keep him at a distance because my experience was not good. Liz is saying that she didn't know that they had a negative relationship, just that they had some type of fling. But if y'all look at what Dino may or may not be involved in and the type people he is around, I could understand why somebody, she says, a weak, vulnerable moment in my life 10 years ago. Now, Kelsey is what? Early 30s. So it's 10 years ago. She was early 20s. Now, Dino, I'm not calling Dino a predator, but he does seem to get with women that are in weaker or vulnerable situations. Remember, he has a child with the lady that was fiance to Aaron Hernandez, the NFL player that ended up deleting himself after deleting someone else. So there's a lot circling around Dino that is not great. This is all allegedly, all in my opinion. Yes, they can win big money. They are even fishing college scholarships. I didn't know they had scholarships for that. Oh, wow. Thank you, American Born says. Wow, that's interesting. So we get a moment with Kelsey. Kelsey was being very candid, and she was just sharing her heart about what happened with Dino. She said it was 10 years ago. She was much younger. She was vulnerable. And she was at a time in her life where she wasn't happy. And that's when she was with Dino. So the more she distanced herself from him, the more she hated him. And she also wants him to get out of Liz's life. That's where Liz is saying that's not her experience. Because again, I don't see Dino getting out of Liz's life because she's married to Jerry. Jerry and Dino are best friends. She's claiming Dino as a best friend. So she said once she didn't want him anymore, he said that he's still going to be in her life. He's one of those people. So Dino, you don't take no for an answer. Y'all, this is, I don't know. She said this is what the words she used, y'all. She said, I'm still going through PTSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome, over Dino. And she said she realizes they've had different experiences, but that's where she was coming from when she was trying to pull Liz aside and mention if there's ongoing. We didn't get her finishing what she was saying. I don't know if she was going to say ongoing relationship, ongoing situation. I don't know, because Liz jumped up and started cussing. So she said she wasn't that attached at the time to the man that she's with now, the 10-year man. I'm sorry, Kelsey, you're not attached to him now. That man is away from he's away from her 6 months out of the year, living in Miami with one or more women. So y'all, that's not making a lot of sense. So she says, you know, I love you. They say they love each other, onward and upward. She calls Kelsey her little sister. They start drinking their champagne. And they both got on cute little shades and they have made up. I thought that was so cute. So they said they're going to move on. So now we find out that Joellen is away for work. So she's not going to be on this cast excursion that they're doing. They're all meeting up for this road trip to the rail. They could have gone in one sprinter, but I guess we split them up and then we get some action and they get to talk about each other on the way. So Delores is actually going. Joellen's not going, but we get Delores. Delores and Alicia are in one sprinter. The other ladies are in another sprinter. Rosie, who was a former newscaster, she starts talking to the ladies about why she quit her job. She said she had some kind of thing where she had colitis, I think she said. Y'all, I don't even remember what that is. Something about bleeding, something about she had to wear a diaper to work. So she went out on FMLA. All the other ladies are listening, but they're looking at her out of the side of their eye. So then we get a confessional. I feel like it was Alicia. I just have confessional. So Rosie's telling this story. They're just looking out of the side of her eye about why she quit. And she went out on FMLA. And then she was like, well, why should I return? I don't want to go back. So she didn't go back. Alicia's in a confessional and she says, I don't know why she's telling us this story about why she left that job. Everybody in Rhode Island knows she got fired from that job. She was having an affair with a higher up. Y'all, that sounds like a more likely story. I thought that was really funny. That did sound like a more likely story. And we know that Rosie has been known to lie. I'm seeing that in you, Rosie. I don't love it. DG says, my hometown has a bass tournament on Lake Hartwell every year. They pay big money at American Born. Wow. So these fishing tournaments are really something that I think everybody should look into. Wow. That's interesting. So she said, I know she got fired. She had an affair with a higher up. So they all get to where they're going to meet to do this little train Flintstone pedaling thing on the train track. I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that. But they said it looked like fun. Rula shows up. Rula's kind of loose, y'all. She said, I'm here. They said, well, Joellen's on a business trip. She's not coming. Ruellen's like, oh, a business trip. She's not coming. So Rula is happy. Rula's a trip. She brought a flask. She said, I brought the tequila. We're going to have margaritas. So it's a whole new Rula. And she's on there. They're all on these little things. She's not even pedaling. She's making drinks. Everybody's drinking with her. So I thought that was pretty funny. And so then Alicia's talking about, I love Jane's Fonda so much. Jane's Fonda, like it's more than one Jane. Alicia is hilarious. She says, I do it at least weekly. I'm on that workout. I love Jane's Fonda. So Kelsey is starting up mess. She's like, how do you feel about Ashley? Liz is saying, well, the 4th of July wasn't great. I think Ashley's really sweet. Remember, Ashley has been a little bit intimidated by Liz, but she's warming up to Liz. Liz is warming up to everybody. I don't like this about Kelsey trying to stir up business. So Kelsey's trying to, I don't know if she's trying to whip people up against Liz because Liz is the HBIC, but Liz hasn't said, I'm the HBIC. She's just being treated as that. I don't know if it's her age. She's Gen X, she's in her 50s, so she's a little older than the other women. I think next maybe is Alicia, who's in her 40s, but she's a millennial. She's young, and she's unmarried, even though she's been with Billy 10 years, and she has a 9-year-old. So I don't know why Kelsey's trying to challenge Liz or setting it up to challenge Liz. So that's a trip. So Liz is telling her group that she may have a tough exterior, but she knows where her heart resides. So I agree with Liz. She said, I give you the shirt off my back. She's looking out the window again in her confessional. So this is pretty funny. She says, I don't think I'm scary, but people jump when they meet me. I don't know. She was saying Jane's Fonda. I don't know why. Yeah, it was so funny. She was like, I love Jane's Fonda. I don't know if she know that Jane Fonda is a woman, a person, an actress, an activist. I watched a movie called Jane. They did a great autobiography on her. I had forgotten all about her, the Ted Turner years, all of that. Jane Fonda is a force, but I don't think Alicia knows who it is. She sounded saying like Jane's Fonda, like it's some type of workout thing only, and it's not. It's Jane Fonda doing her workout videos. DG says 2025 winner caught a 67-pound bass, won $100,000. The sporting goods companies are big sponsors. Oh, that would make sense, DG, because then they would actually, we have a whole business around Charlotte called Bass Pro Sports or something like that. They do everything in there. They sell all of that type of equipment in addition to hunting equipment, all kind of stuff. My sister and I took our concealed carry class there. Y'all, we didn't pass the shooting part of the test. We got 100 on the written and neither one of us could shoot to save our lives. We got to take it again. You have to get, I feel like 24 out of 30 shots or something. We were down in the teens, y'all. 8 likes, 11 in the chat. Thank you. Please like and subscribe to ensure at Sandra Peach your next year moves up in the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much, CC. CC is a moderator, and I appreciate you reminding people. Bass Pro sells a lot of good merch. Yes, DG, Bass Pro Sports. That's exactly who it is. They do a lot. They have a huge one right off the major highway from where I live. So Liz is saying that, I don't know, I may be a little scary because people jump. I was thinking about a jump scare. Liz, you're not a jump scare. I wouldn't be scared of Liz at all. I think she's the sweetest. Sometimes when people are like coarse like that or just direct, they really are the sweetest. And I don't know why the ladies are kind of scared of her. So then we got Kelsey. She pulls Ashley aside. I was with Liz, and she's saying the first time I met Ashley, I didn't really like her that much. Kelsey, Liz didn't say anything like that. She said Ashley was a little bit, kind of trepidatious about being around Liz. Because remember earlier in the episode, Ashley was saying, I'm going to Alicia's house and Rosie's not going to be there. She's kind of using Rosie as a security blanket. But this is a lie that Kelsey's telling. So Liz is saying this to Ashley, and Ashley's looking like, what? Ashley's cute. She got a little hat on backwards, like, what? She said that? But Ashley's not going to confront Liz because she's kind of scared of Liz. DG, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Enjoying your channel while at work. Thank you so much. I appreciate my work people that are there. They're in the bushes. They drop down in the chat and speak to us. And I appreciate your $20 super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you. So they are all saying that Liz, people think that Liz is tougher than she is. So poor Ashley, she's saying, I'm truly shy in front of some people. We get a confessional from Ashley. Ashley, I hope this doesn't, again, I'm so glad she got my cloak of immunity. Ashley, don't let Kelsey put anything in your head. Liz may be Queen Bee, but she's not running around going, I'm Queen Bee. Y'all are doing that to her. So just treat her regular and she'll treat you regular. I don't know. Kelsey's kind of ticking down for me, y'all. I forgot she did this, even though I just watched this last night. I don't like that. So Alicia is still among this group of women talking about what Billy doesn't give her. There's nothing in my name. My name's not even on the house. Alicia, you're going to have this role play conversation that you had with the ladies. You're going to have it with Billy. I bet he probably called his lawyer as soon as he watched these episodes. Like, look, please draw something up that is more fair. Because Billy, you look kind of bad. And I actually like Billy. So she's telling us she's had all these ideas that she's put into Pizza Mama or whatever the business name is. have all these ideas I've put in. I haven't gotten anything out of it in 11 years. So she is truly unpaid in all ways by Billy. So she said, I'm the heart of it. You should want to take care of me. I got your daughter. So y'all, this is too much. Billy, what are you going to do, Billy? Thank you for supporting the channel, CC says to DG. Yes, thank you very much, DG, for supporting the channel. I appreciate it. Thank you. So she said, you got to show me that I'm worth something. And it's no longer role play. It's like she was really talking to him. Y'all, I feel bad about this. So now they're peddling on these Flintstone things, except for Rula. Rula's pouring drinks. They're out there drinking. It looked like a lot of fun. And the ladies really seem to be, even though they're already friends, which is why I really like this show, they are bonding. Oh, y'all, I still got quite a bit to go. Let me see. I'm sorry. I think I'm going to be late. Let me see something. Let me see if I can put on a like a little commercial or something, and because then I have to go in and change something. One moment. I don't know what it is. I don't really have any long videos here. I'll play this a couple times.
I don't think that he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me?
That's my opinion! Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you?
That I don't think that he's good. That I don't think that he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me?
That's my opinion! Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you?
That I don't think that he's good. That I
Okay, I apologize, everybody. Thank you. All right, I apologize. I had the time in there as 11:40 because this review, Rhode Island, really usually does not run that long, but we're still just at the Flintstone thing. So they finished what they're doing at the Flintstone thing. And the ladies are all sitting around, they're eating, kind of drinking a little bit. And then, I'm sorry, who was this? Alicia? Oh, Alicia is just sitting there minding her business. They're all kind of drinking from the flash a little bit. So then as they're doing that, Kelsey or Rosie, one of them, I feel like it was Kelsey. She says, you know, Liz, when we were on the way up here, Alicia was saying that she used to kind of be scared of you. Liz is sitting there like, scared of me? Because I remember she was eating something like a chip or something. And Delores is just looking back and forth like, what's going on? So Alicia's like, wait a minute, I wouldn't do that if I were you, Rosie. I think it was Rosie. I wouldn't do that if I were you. She said, what are you trying to pull here? You trying to throw me up under the bus? Because again, they did have a conversation about Liz, but it wasn't a negative conversation. It was just about who Liz is in Rhode Island and who she is to the group. But I don't like the way that she did that. So Alicia's saying, oh, she said, don't try to throw me under the bus. She said, don't flip that ish onto me. Alicia starts to get a little bit activated. Delores is sitting there laughing, y'all. She's looking from side to side. Reminds her of Jersey, honey. She loves it. So she says, I don't know who you really are. She said, but I don't want you to F with me. And then she says, I don't like feeling betrayed. What are you doing? And Rosie, for some reason, she starts like, you did say that about Liz. Alicia did not say anything just off the cuff about Liz. Rosie was going around, also Kelsey, asking, what do you think about this one? What do you think about that one? Yeah, you got to watch it. You got to watch when people do that. American Born says, Alicia got mad real quick. Yeah, we were looking at Hurricane Alicia, and I didn't blame her for that. So now Rosie's kind of a victim. Like, why are you? I'm just shocked at how you're acting, but I'm glad everybody's around for you to see it. She's like big-eyed and everything, like puzzled. And then Alicia's like, yeah, because I don't let people just throw me under the bus talking to me about me like this. And Liz was like, Alicia, she said, I don't believe that you would ever say anything negatively about me. So I don't know, Rosie, you got egg on your face. Liz don't even believe it. She's like, come on, let's come aside. She pulls her aside and she was like, we're already friends. I know what you are to me. I am to you. None of that means anything, what she's saying. They come back to the group, y'all. Alicia is still mad. She says, you thirsty. She said, you are thirsty. You are thirsty garden tool. But she called her a hoe, y'all. And then Alicia's saying, did I miss something? I'm not trying to start a problem. Alicia, I want us to be friends. Oh my God, I can't. Because she realized that what she tried to do, this little slick half a lie that she told, nobody believes her. Alicia's really upset because her character is kind of being questioned, that she's talking about a friend to all of them for no reason, just because she's out of her sight for 1 minute. They were in different sprinters. But Rosie's the one saying, what do you think about this one? What do you think about that one? And Kelsey does that as well. And then they bring the answer back to the person. So Alicia had every right to be mad. I loved it. Alicia started cussing her out. Call her thirsty garden tool, everything. She said, thank you for showing me your cards. And she says, well, Liz isn't upset about anything. She said, it doesn't matter that Liz is not upset. I see what you're trying to do and I don't like it. Liz is sitting there roasting her marshmallow, y'all. I don't blame her. She says, it's not my style. So one of the other ladies said, I feel really bad for Rosie. I didn't feel really bad for Rosie because I don't know why Rosie came out and started doing this. So now she's crying. I want to be friends. I want all of us to be friends. So I don't know, Rosie, why did you do this? So this was kind of stupid. So Alicia jumps up with her little pleated tennis skirt on. Y'all, she's still fussing. She's cussing. Now, Alicia, some of this might be because of Pizza Billy and you not having cash money in the house, because she did go on a little bit long. I don't know. Unless we don't see the part of Rosie really trying to defend herself. But American Born is right. Rosie was trying to play the victim. She had tears in her eyes. Then in the confessional, I'm glad everybody gets to see how Alicia is and what Alicia is. What is Alicia? Alicia is not going to take your crap. I don't see that Alicia's doing anything bad or that she said anything negative about Liz. And the good thing is Liz doesn't believe it either. So now, Rosie, you looking sneaky. She says she don't believe the fake tears. Alicia's still talking. So they had pulled Alicia away from the group. And Alicia started clapping her hands that she is done. She is done. And then Rosie is saying, I still want all us to be friends. Alicia is in a confessional. She says, I'm a sensitive gangster. I got a temper. Yeah, I think Alicia and Liz might be two of my favorites now. A sensitive gangster. Alicia, you are a mess. She said, I wish I had my peppermint oil with me. The smell calms me down. So she kind of dabs herself in the confessional with her peppermint oil. Y'all, the sensitive gangster is a trip. And she said, she started to put it under her arm, y'all. And she said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. So that was pretty funny. So Alicia says now she knows to keep an eye on Rosie. So they all are back in the circle again. And Rosie's like, I apologize. I didn't want you to say anything bad about Liz. I was just saying we all said something about Liz. Is a little bit intimidating. Liz, to her benefit, and Liz is old school. She's not feeding into any of it. She's not defending Rosie. She's already let Alicia know, look, I know this one is slick and I'm not buying anything that she's selling. So the group they stayed together a little bit. They stood up, went toward each other and hugged each other. But y'all, I think Alicia kind of sees Rosie for what she is, because all that stuff she was saying, I feel like it's not really settled now. Now they all know they got to watch Rosie. American Born says, I wonder if she got that from Amaya Papaya from Love Island. She said that on the show, she was a sensitive gangster. I don't know. She could have. But she does seem sensitive, and she jumped right into gangster mode. So I don't know. Hurricane Alicia and Hurricane Liz. I don't know. You know, they have all these little phrases that you don't even know where you hear it. And then it just kind of slips into the lexicon. So she very well could have. So y'all, that was actually the end of the episode. And they previewed the Watch What Happens Live. It was a cute watch. It was like 25 minutes. Alicia was on that. And also Angela from Atlanta Housewives. And then they're going to preview the next episode of Rhode Island, y'all. Brian and Rula are going to storm out from somewhere again because the mistress's name comes up. Oh, I forgot. Alicia, she was saying, welcome to Rhode Island, B. That's what she told Rosie. And that was all during the fight. And Rosie couldn't really get another word out. She had to apologize. And Alicia accepted it so as not to seem like she's causing friction within the group. But I think, Rosie, you might have made an enemy out of Alicia. I don't know. I don't know. This is crazy. So, y'all, this was a pretty good episode. I'm going to have to give it an 8. Thank you so much. Oh, Cece gave it a 9. Wow. And y'all, Cece, she is the strict substitute. Cece don't just give out 9s. She'll fail you in a minute. So she gave it a 9. I gave it an 8. I didn't really, everything happened. We got to see everybody. I would have liked more Joellen, because the scene from Joellen with the sister Jen in her house with her husband, Joellen, you need to redeem yourself. I need to see a little more because you're looking like a fool. American Born gave it a 9 too. Wow, I was the toughest grader this episode. I can't believe it. Y'all know that's unusual if you've been here. So I gave it an 8, but Cece and American Born gave it a 9. But it's well worth watching. Kiwan JTV, I know you haven't watched it yet. Oh, we had the funny aunties. So, okay, bonus point. Yeah, they got a 90. They got an A+ on this. They really did. Replay gang, please hit the like button, drop a comment, and let's hype this video up. Yes, thank you, everyone. I changed the time to noon. So if you're here, or if you're on lunch, or if you can join me, come back for Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'll get some more water and honey in me for my throat, and then we'll talk. Not at all American Born. I know that's not a usual thing for you. Sorry for the all caps. Overall, oh, thank you. Great review, Sandra. So overall, they got a 9, y'all. It's worth it. If you haven't picked this show up, we're only 4 in. So Real Housewives of Rhode Island, please pick it up. Also, Ladies of London, I hear their numbers are not great. And we do want Bravo to start giving us real people because we're tired of this reality show acting. Have a blessed day, everyone. Thank you, CC. You do the same. Thank you so much for joining Sandra P's Gen Extra. And I will see you in the YouTube streets. I'm right around the corner because it's at noon.
I don't think that he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me?
That's my opinion! Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you?
That I don't think that he's good. That I